My daughter said that she was going to drain me of every cent I had because I was a useless dad for 18 years. She took it back real quick when I crushed her dreams of studying abroad using my money. My wife left with my daughter in the middle of the night for a rich man who didn't need to work. As salt on the wound, she sent me pictures of her going to our family dinner spot with her little Nepo baby. She told me that during all this time, she hated me for being broke and was patiently waiting for her knight in shining armor to save her from our marriage and make her life exciting. After that, we divorced and split custody with our daughter. That agreement didn't come without some arguments though. She was determined to make sure my daughter would never see me again, because she actually wanted a better life for her daughter and not the illegal immigrant life. I didn't know she was a Project 25 worshiper, but you learn something new every day. Things after the divorce only got worse because my daughter would come over and talk about how her new daddy was buying all these things for her. I always cried in my bed at night because her mom's new husband was treating her like the princess I always told her I would. And even when I did try to treat her like a princess, like when I saved enough money to throw a little birthday party with her, none of her friends showed up because their moms didn't want to go to a single dad's birthday. It didn't help that my daughter told me they didn't want to come because they already had more than enough fun at the birthday party mommy's husband threw for her. When it came time for her 17th birthday, her mom actually talked to me about how her husband and her were going to buy our daughter a car, and wanted to make sure it was cool with me. I thought it was a great idea and shelved out money from my savings account to chip in. I wanted to show that I was just as capable in providing for my daughter. But when it came to actually surprising her with the car, she didn't say a word to me because they never told her that I spent money on the car too. That was the defining moment where she saw her mom and her husband as her actual parents, and her dad was a bum that wouldn't provide. She started taking more weekend trips with them and would ignore my calls for days. I tried to tell myself that she thought of me and she was just busy, but my worst fear was confirmed on her 18th birthday. I called her to ask if I could be invited to her birthday, but before I could say anything she told me not to bother her because her dad had just given her the best birthday present ever, a week-long trip in the country of her choosing. I just froze at that moment because I had no idea she started calling her stepdad Dad. I kept wondering how long she had been doing that for, and if he was her dad, then what was I to her? Honestly, all I wanted was my daughter's love, but it seemed like I would never get it, not while I was broke anyway. I wanted to achieve my dream, but it felt like everything was just hopeless. Luckily, things started to pick up when I started letting my money grow for me, and even though it took a long time, I was able to have more money in my bank account than my ex-wife and her husband combined. So, I went over to my ex-wife's house and told them that I wanted to pay for my daughter to study abroad, because I knew that was her dream. My ex-wife scoffed at me and said that if they couldn't afford it, then there was no way I could. I immediately proved her wrong and made her jaw drop when I showed them my bank account. My daughter immediately clung to my side and said she knew exactly where she wanted to study. I told her that I would keep coming over to discuss this matter, and she said she was looking forward to my visits. I couldn't believe I was hearing those words from her. I could have just cried tears of joy on the spot. My daughter even started spending more time with me after that. We went to all her favorite places like designer stores, high-end restaurants and luxury spas. It was the first time I could afford all these things. Unfortunately, I was too blindsided to see that while I was making lifelong memories, my daughter was just using me as her wallet. Luckily, I saw the truth before it was too late. It happened when I was picking up my daughter so that we could go to a car dealership to buy her a brand new luxury car. I was waiting in the living room, but my daughter was taking too long to get ready, so I went to her room to check on her. That's when I overheard her and her mom talking about me. My daughter said that she was going to drain me of every cent I had to make up for the last 18 years of me being a useless dad. My ex-wife then said that she was planning on seducing me so she could do the same. She claimed it would be easy because I was a loser who never found anyone else because I was holding out for her all this time. My daughter laughed along but then told my ex-wife that she wishes her stepdad was her real dad, because she hated all my sappy complaining and my neediness for her to be around the house more. I didn't hear anything after that because my mind had shut down. I was genuinely seeing red. I just left the house and sat in my car, desperately trying to hold my tears back. I realized then how messed up it was of me to try and buy my daughter's love, but that was going to change now. I was never going to give her another cent ever again. So, the second I got home and saw that she left, I texted her that I wasn't going to pay for her to study abroad anymore because I suddenly ran out of sense. I immediately got voicemails from my ex-wife calling me a horrible person for getting my daughter's hopes up and making her cry and that I was ruining her daughter's life. My daughter texted me asking how I could do this to her, and that she thought we really bonded these past couple of months, and that for the first time she was finally starting to like me as a person. I told her that she only liked me because I was her personal wallet and that I was done sucking up to her, so she should go ask her stepdad to pay for everything. If she was ready to come eat with me at some diner and actually talk like a family, I'd be ready, but I was not going to be her little toy. Even though I knew that they would not be able to afford studying abroad without my support, I didn't care because at the end of the day it was my money, and after all this time I think I deserved to be a little selfish for once. That gave me the idea to blow my money on a brand new car. I recreated a meme with my car and sent it to my daughter's family. Spent all the child support money on a car. I'll worry about the judge questioning it later.